I want you, everybody, look around you. Look just to the person next to you or in front of you or just behind you. Pick somebody of your age because we're going to play arm wrestling. So pick real opponents, whether you're a lady or a man. Go ahead now, right now. I'll give you 10 seconds to pick one. Okay? Have you picked your partner yet? Okay, get in the wrestling position now, right now. Okay? And here is the contest. Listen to the rule of the game. I'll give you 15 seconds. You play as many times as you can, and then tell me what was the result. Is it 2-1, 3-2, 4-1, whatever it is, okay? 1, 2, go ahead. Okay. Thank you very much. Time is up. Please. Now, please raise your hand if you have won 3 times. 4, 5, 6, 7. Who won 10 times here? Okay. Who won 10 times? I wanted to tell you that you have just, all of you, missed the opportunity to win at least 10 times each of you. Do you believe me? If you don't, Herky. So my colleague Herky will show you how you all Actually, I picked Herky because he's in my size. So we will play it together now. And we are going to show you together now how you could manage every one of you win 10 times each. I gave you 15 seconds, right? And look at this. Here is 1, here is 1, here is 2, here is 2, here's 3, here's 3, 4, 4. So by the end of 15 seconds, chances are every single one of you could have won at least 15 times, right? And there was a grand award here for the winners, 1,000 pounds. But guess what? I always give this grand award and nobody gets it. Thank you, sir. You can go now. What I want to tell you out of this exercise, you all could have won if you did not compete, but if you work together. Did you get it now? All right. My name is Wael Yassin, and we'll be talking together about this synergy. Was it synergy that we're talking about, this synergy? Synergy, right? Oh, yeah, because thank you for reminding me, because after lunch, everybody forgets what we're here for. Synergy. Okay. A friend of mine once told me, oh, synergy is my favorite topic. I love it. But can you please remind me which department synergy is? What do you mean? You know, I mean, if I want to apply synergy to myself, where can I find it? Which part of my body? And then I looked at him. Come on, tell me, what do you mean? He said, is it real fact or just your illusion? Our topic now is fact or illusion. Is synergy real fact? We can find it. We can really do it, or just illusion. All right. Let's start here by, let's see, we have this. Now, working together again. Whenever you face any kind of challenge or a problem or an opportunity like what we see here, just don't panic. If you work together, you can conquer any challenge. All you need to do is just to work together. Let's see now here how they work together. It doesn't really matter how big the challenge is. All you need to do is just to learn how to work together. Now, many people here talked about, what's synergy and what's the nature of synergy. And in simple mathematics, 1 + 1 is equal equals, in simple mathematics, it equals 2. But synergy is not simple mathematics because 1 plus 1 here equals more than 2. It's much greater than 2. It could be 10, 100, 1,000. It doesn't really matter. But it's definitely greater than 2. So if it's not simple mathematics, probably algebra can explain it. We don't have here x plus y, but we also have x times y. And what x times y? Here it tells you about the interaction. During the whole day, I was sitting here among you and staring at this structure back there. Can you see it? They are just a group of threads, aren't they? Can you imagine if they just put those threads next to each other? Would they have this structure? They had to link them together. We needed to have those threads interact with each other in order to produce such a synergistic structure. It wouldn't be possible without interaction. Let's now see whether synergy does exist. I want to answer this colleague of mine who told me, is it a fact or just your illusion? Then I tell him, synergy exists in nature. Have you ever wondered why birds fly in this V formation? Look at them. It looks familiar, is it not? The question is why they fly in this V formation. They do fly in this V formation because, according to scientists, that they found out that this conserves energy because they produce some sort of uplift vortex that helps them reduce their energy. And guess what? This way they can fly 71% farther than they can do any otherwise. Synergy does exist in nature and birds know it. Why shouldn't we? Okay, so let's now see another example here. While scuba diving, we can take many pictures of these. Reality is even more beautiful. Look at the combination of colors of all these underwater marine life. And just imagine if they're all one color. Is it the same beauty? It's just the interaction of all these colors together that makes up this synergistic beauty. Many people do not know this man because probably we don't know what he did during his life, but we definitely know what he did after his life. When he passed away in 1957, he emphasized, or he left in his will, that he wants his mausoleum or tomb in some place where people can enjoy nature. So he wanted some desert. This is where he is. And look at the desert around him. But also he wanted some greenery. Greenery and desert? He found it. It's there. And he was not satisfied by this. He also asked for desert, greenery, and water. And here is the River Nile. And this is Aga Khan, where you can see it in Aswan. Okay, so look at how he combined or formulated the different elements of nature to form this kind of synergy. Now, many people are afraid of synergy. You say, I have my own identity. Just you want me to be part of a team, and that's it? By synergy here, we have fruit salad and we have fruit cocktail. We don't want you to be a fruit cocktail. Fruit cocktail where the team, just mix together and you keep drinking this fruit cocktail until very last sip, you wonder, what flavor is this? What kind of fruit was that? Am I right? But look at the fruit salad. Every single fruit keeps its own identity, flavor, and taste. But can you eat them separately? If you put them in front of you, just separate pieces of fruits, would they have the same effect as the fruit salad? So this is basically tells us what synergy is. But again, if it is not illusion, and you say it's fact, can this be materialized? The answer is yes, it can be materialized, but we have also some conditions for this to be materialized. Difference, trust, and a process. Raise your hand if you feel happier to work with a team a homogeneous team, if we call it that way, working with people of the same background as yours, the same way of thinking. Raise your hand if you are more comfortable working in a team of the same background and way of thinking and so forth. So you see these many hands, actually, I can tell you, this is not with synergy. You guess what? When we have homogeneous team, we don't have synergy. We have something else. We may have redundancy. Can you ever imagine a football team all made of goalkeepers? Would that be a team? Huh? All goalkeepers. So they have the same background, same way of thinking, same skills. They are very homogeneous. Do they make a good football team? Even if we have a full team of the best player, can you imagine you have a team of 11 Messis? We don't need 11 Messis, do we? We need only one Messi in any team so that we can have a synergistic team. Or am I right? We need each other. We need these differences. So whenever you see differences, you use it to your advantage. Where is Herky? Can I see you? Okay. Herky is here. He's going to show you now certain number by his hands, using his fingers. Look at Herky and tell me what number Herky is trying to tell us. Huh? Who says 4? Who says 3? Or what's the number? 7. How did you know it's 7? You only see 3 or 4. So what that tells you, in order to know the real number, in order to get the whole picture, you need the people in the other side of the room. You always need people with different background and different viewpoints. Okay? So, accordingly, we need a team of different players having different skills, different backgrounds, and different way of doing things. This is only the way to have a good synergistic team. So, once again, do not look for people like you. Try to seek people who are different like you if you really want to have synergy. Synergy is not redundancy. Okay? My master, whom I learned from a lot, Stephen Covey, the author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, was telling us a story about someone who wanted to please him as a boss. He told him, boss, I have exactly the same way of thinking as yours. I think exactly the same way. Then Stephen Covey told him, this means one of us is redundant, but it's not going to be me. Okay. So basically, we really need those differences. My friends, seek differences. Do not seek similarities. You're enough. Okay. Now, when it comes to trust, please, we have 2 alternatives here. You wait for someone to prove that he is trustworthy, or you just trust as a default. Now, who agrees with the first one? Raise your hand. Let me show hands if you agree that you wait for some reason to trust. Thank you. Now, is there anyone here of the second opinion? Use trust as default. Thank you for raising your hands, but I hope you believe it, which means you trust everybody, and not until he proves otherwise, you trust him forever, for good. Is that good? Is that very smart? I wouldn't be, cautious if I trust everybody. But only, guess what? Look at what you have, you gain from trust and what you may lose from distrust. There are many people here says lots of quotes, never distrust unless given a reason. So it's vice versa. You don't distrust. Okay. We also have here, the most important one that I like most, the last one of Abraham Lincoln. It's better to trust and probably be disappointed once in a while than distrust and live miserable for the rest of your life. Make your choice. Did you get it now? Okay. And in his book, The Speed of Trust, Stephen R. Covey are giving us lots of stories. The speed of trust? Does trust have a speed? The answer is definitely yes. Look how much effort you take to talk to someone whom you distrust. If there is a trust, just a clue will make you more understanding of each other. Am I right? Just look now after 9/11. Look at about the delay that we have at every airport because of inspection, because we lost trust in each other. Okay? So basically, trust is very, very important component here. And last but not least, there is a fantastic story that I want to share it with you by Stephen R. Covey. Still, a man who was selling hot dog in the middle of a square full of executive buildings. Everybody loved his hot dog sandwiches, and they were waiting. They are waiting in queues to take their sandwiches. He was working real fast to satisfy all the customers, but here customer comes, how much is it? $1.25. Do you have a change for $5? A change? Just a minute, please. And he keeps looking here and there, and he found out this issue of change takes lots of time. He looked at the end of the queue, he found some people look at the watch and just leaving. They really want his service, they want his sandwiches, but they cannot wait. How can he speed up the process? He cannot work any faster, but he brought a very big bowl, and he dumped into it lots of changes and put it there. Every customer comes, how much is it? $1.25. Do you have a change for $5? Yeah, sure, in this bowl. Yeah, what do you want me to do? Just put your money and take your change and go. Do you trust me? As a matter of fact, you trust me for your health. How would I not trust you for my money? And guess what? He could double his revenue based on that because the speed was so fast. Many of you now have in their mind, come on, some people can really cheat and steal money from him. Guess what? The answer is yes. And this was a possibility. But every day he counts his revenue, he always finds extras, not less than he should. You know why? Many people like the idea and decide to leave more tips. So the gains he got from trust was much more from the loss he incurred from distrust. And last but not least, there should be some sort of a process. I don't want you to sit in a meeting room, look at each other. Okay, let's synergize. And then you keep looking at each other. How can we synergize? What are the steps? My friends, you need to know it's either you have a process or you have a layman approach. Either you're in a meeting room for business or in a coffee shop or in one of these talk shows. Okay? So you really need a process. Conducting a meeting, so if I ask you what's needed to conduct a meeting, you give me several requirements, and I put them in two categories here. If you talk about the sound system and all these equipments and the venue, the place, you're talking logistics. If you're talking about the contents and the agenda and the speakers, you're talking about topics, which is what? But there is one missing link here. Can you know what this is? Can you guess? It's the how, exactly. What's the process? Here we can mention lots of things related to process. Everything has concrete processes. Nothing is left for chance. Nothing is left for just mere discussions. So go for a process. Problem solving, decision making, decision matrix technique, group effectiveness, how to manage or handle conflicts. All these things have exact written processes. Get to know the process in order to be able to apply synergy. Okay, so this is basically, what I can talk about. A process should have an attitude. Make sure you have the right attitude. You seek differences and you're willing to go for synergy. Skills, make sure you have the right skills for it. And last but not least, the synergy needs creativity. Are you creative? How many times you see those 9 dots exercise? Probably plenty of time. How many times you heard people telling you, think outside the box? For your information, think outside the box was mentioned and said about this particular box. That's why the solution comes outside the 9 dots in order to connect them together with 4 straight connected lines. Okay, so now in conclusion, synergy is a fact. It's not illusion. Synergy is available everywhere around us. Synergy is doable, but what you need to do in order to achieve or accomplish synergy, you need a process. Make sure you have the right attitude of accepting or seeking differences, the skills to communicate, and last but not least, you need to have creativity in order to be able to produce some sort of things that's much better than adding your efforts together. Interact. Remember one thing, the gains we get from working together is much more than what we lose competing with each other. Thank you.